Everything starts with a cute little kitten, dude. The year is 2017 in the Gandhi region. The protagonist is walking on a small roof, everyone's heading to school, and there's a dude with blue hair in the middle of all that. Someone comments that the kid is weird. The friend, in the alley of the vagabonds, wants to know why. Bullhead says that's the new student who transferred recently, but he doesn't talk much. The friend asks, "What do you mean he doesn't talk?" He says it's kind of hard to explain, but it's something that goes beyond that. It's like the boy himself is silent. Like, deeply silent. The black-haired one still doesn't understand what he's talking about. Well, at that moment, a car passes. The protagonist looks to the side and seems to step in front of it. The driver has to slam on the brakes and nearly runs him over, already cursing the bastard, wanting to know why he threw himself in front of the car out of nowhere. Our boy finally is just there, stoic, not saying a word. The black-haired guy wants to know why he threw himself in front of the car like that, and Bullhead says to take a look at his foot. Man, the kitten was going to get run over and he stepped in front of it. The driver gets out of the car to go off on the kid, gets in his face and starts yelling. He grabs him by the collar, saying that this damn student is a bastard and must have been trying to get into an accident on purpose to get compensation money later. The black-haired guy is there watching, saying that even so, the weird kid still doesn't say a word. His friend says he already told him. Man, that kid has some kind of weird illness that kills him if he opens his mouth. Ever since he got here, he's been like that. At that moment, a girl from his school comes running and calls for the uncle, asking what happened. The girl gets closer, calls out to Jigun and asks if he's okay and what happened. The old guy says that this weird kid threw himself in front of the car and that it was a very obvious strategy to get money out of others. The girl looks at our boy and says she thinks he must have had some reason. Then she starts bowing, saying she apologizes on his behalf and asks to let him go just this once. She shines while begging, and the guy says fine, but there wouldn't be a second time. The black-haired guy in the alley asks why the queen of Class 5 wants to protect this kid. The other one, holding the cat, says, maybe it's because they're from the same class. This kid had barely arrived and was already tiring everyone out. He asks the kitten if it agrees, but the kitten turns and grabs him, dude. Right then, it jumps down to run away, and already the second one is there, staring down the two of them. The fool is lying in the alley, all bloody, and gives a little wave to Ari. She, however, just gives him a little stare and turns away. Man, the friend asks why she seems to have such a cold aura. The fool responds that only made her even more attractive. Just like they had the goddess Yena in Class 5, they had Ariam in their class. The friend turns and says that wasn't attractive at all. He was just being ignored like a loser. The friend tells him not to worry too much. She was just a little shy. Maybe you could say she was an introverted but kind person. The only downside is that she really didn't talk much. The friend comments that apparently she was just like that weirdo who threw himself in front of the car. But Bullhead says not to compare her to that weirdo. The friend says, okay, and tells him to go clean up that blood. While our boy is calmly heading to school, the class is a mess. People are sleeping here and there while he's standing still in the middle of it all. Static, stoic, not moving a single hair. Everyone's talking and telling jokes, and he's just there, man, in complete silence. Suddenly, he opens his eyes, and there are some girls filming him, saying that once again, he's meditating in the middle of the class. The two are there, staring at him up close, saying that he's been there a month now, and since the first day he arrived, he does that meditation every day. It was impressive. To celebrate a month since he arrived, she even took a little picture and wants to know what he thinks. If he didn't like it, he just had to click the delete button. She says he doesn't need to hesitate just because she helped him before. And then she says that since he won't delete it, that means she has permission to keep his photo, and she thanks him. Right at that moment, dude, someone opens the door. By the way, he gives off an intimidating aura, man. You already know that one either came to get beaten up or to throw punches. He's not going to stay quiet. The name of the bastard is Taksu, and he already comes with bullying in his name. Everyone looks back. Dude, the jerk with the facial filler is just standing there, facing everyone. He sees from afar all the girls asking for Jigen's photo, man, telling him to send it on WhatsApp. Then he notices it was our boy and says the vibe there looked pretty nice. He asks our guy why there are always so many girls around him like that. To be honest, he says that he himself kind of looked like a girl. He grabs the guy's arm and says he should be a man, but that little arm was really feminine. What the? Is he touching his face? Man, what is this? I thought the guy came looking for a fight, but I didn't think the fight he wanted was between four walls. He even says he might fall in love because he's so soft. Okay, Jigun is just standing there quietly, right? Just confused by this crazy guy. Yena tells the damn two to cut it out because nobody's laughing, but he messes with our boy's hair, saying he does it because he's too cute. Then he turns to Yena and says he invited her to go to karaoke yesterday, so why didn't she show up? She gives him a hard stare and says she went to bed early because she was tired and he should understand that, since she sent a message. He says, though, that they had already made plans, and that even if she was tired, she should have shown up. When her boyfriend calls, she has to go because he was tired of waiting. Dang, man, he already has Yena, and now he wants our protagonist. Greedy, aren't you? He turns around saying that it's good she doesn't skip today, and she says she'll see. Right then, another nerdy guy, who probably doesn't get beat up enough, pulls out a chair for him. Dude! The freeloader flops down and spits. Then class starts, with the teacher talking about some Mediterranean civilization stuff. Sometime later, the boys seem to be playing a pretty intense game of foot volleyball. And meanwhile, our boy is just sitting on the bench when someone approaches. Here comes Yena, provoking again out of nowhere, saying it's way too hot. She sits real close, asking if he's not feeling hot too. She blows some breeze on his face, asking if he likes it and if he finds that refreshing. But he's just there, as always, stoic. She laughs, saying it's ironic how he never says anything. Meanwhile, 2 is in the middle of the court, just glancing back, seeing his girlfriend acting like that toward another guy. That wouldn't make anyone happy in this world. The problem is, he got distracted. The guy on the other side gives a big kick to the ball, and it lands right on his cheeks, man. But the guy just tanked it, and the ball went flying. Ronaldinho apologizes, dude, saying he was just trying to make it pass. Taksu turns around, saying now his face got wrecked, but he claps and says it's all good. That only happened because he wasn't paying attention, and it's best to just keep the game going. At least the guy handled it maturely, though at the same time he's just staring at Jigun in the background. A while after recess, our boy is on the rooftop, like always, alone and quiet. And suddenly, the door opens. Man. The scene cuts to our dear Ronaldinho, who's apologizing, saying it was an accident. But Taksu says he knows he'll only regret it after tasting a little blood. The poor guy's legs are all shaky, and he's already on the floor, man. Right then, Jigun gets up, and one of the guys glances back and gets startled. He asks what the hell the freak is doing there out of nowhere. And then 2 says it looks like he's going to eat alone once again. He really was a weird kid. He goes to give the fool a haircut, saying he's about to make a masterpiece and he better pay close attention. The buzzer does its job, and everyone's laughing, saying this is a perfect work of art. He shows it to our boy and asks what he thinks of the masterpiece. The poor kid is just left with 2 little tufts of hair. Everyone is cracking up while the guy wants to know what Jigun thinks. Obviously, he says nothing, and 2 wants to know why he's not laughing. Then he gets closer and says that for a masterpiece to be perfect, the model's look was necessary, and looking at the boy, he was sure he'd be perfect for that. Maybe it was time for him to create a masterpiece right there too. The buzzer gets closer, and he asks if he doesn't want it. If he doesn't want it, he just has to say no. But if he doesn't say anything, that means yes. Obviously, our boy doesn't respond, and he says it's decided. Man, he comes in with a buzzer saying that now he's going to look more beautiful than ever. But suddenly, Taksu's expression changes. He says it's best he be careful. Soon enough, he was going to cross a line, and things would start to get weird. Then he raises the buzzer and says he won't cut it after all. He knows that if he shaves the kid's head, the girls are going to be on his case. So he turns around and tells everyone to leave. Meanwhile, the poor guy is left there with just 2 little hair tufts. He picks up his phone to take a look and sees the disaster that's left. He takes a little photo, saying he'll leave some evidence, but he's mad that those bastards could have at least finished the job instead of leaving those tufts. Suddenly, he looks back, stands up, and asks why Jigun isn't laughing. To be honest, he also thinks it's funny, so he can just crack up. But Jigun is just there, stoic. The guy says he really is different from the others. If it were him sitting on that bench, and he saw someone with that haircut, he'd die laughing. He steps away, saying he's thankful that our boy isn't laughing at his face. At the school exit, it's raining, and everyone is at the entrance waiting for the rain to pass, wondering if they'll get home soaking wet. Some at the front run out, while Ariam has her little umbrella. She glances to the side and sees Jigun calmly walking in the rain like it's a sunny day. Suddenly, someone calls him. It's the little bullhead, showing up saying, Taksu wants to have a chat, and it's best if he comes along. Right after that, the 4 of them are there, waiting for him. 2 already says he was looking forward to seeing the great popular guy in class. He really was still looking beautiful after being soaked in the rain. This guy, man, I don't know if he wants to fight or if he wants to... Never mind. Right then, Yena turns and asks why he called Jigun there. Taksu, however, tells her to calm down. He just wants to check something. Then he throws her phone to the ground and asks if he saw that. He wants to know why our boy's face is his girlfriend's wallpaper. Guess what Jigun did? Nothing, dude. Just stood there in silence, staring at 2, who says he doesn't know if he's being petty, but he wants to understand this situation. To be honest, this 2, aside from the haircut incident, is the most chill bully so far, man. He took a soccer ball to the face and didn't do much, just complimented our boy's looks. And really, the one causing all of this is Yena, who keeps flirting with our guy even though she has a boyfriend. And she even tells 2 that she's only using him as a wallpaper because he has a cool vibe. The guy, obviously confused, asks if it's really just that. Yena gets close to our boy, grabs him by the arm, and tells him to just go. This had nothing to do with him. She'd see him at school tomorrow, so it was best for him to leave. Then 2 asks why the damn girl is taking the side of that damn bastard. She was even being flirty in front of him. She turns, saying, "You're the loser! You need to stop crossing the line!" Holy hell, take back what I said. Taksu slapped her hard in the face. My god, the girl spun like 380 degrees and even got blood on Jigun's face. Man, at that moment, he felt something strange inside. 2 asks why the damn girl is siding with that kid in front of her own boyfriend. Then he gets in our boy's face and says that it looks like he already knows all the girls like him. He wants to know if, by any chance, he's interested in Yena. She was pretty cute after all, even if she had a bad temper. If Jigun were honest and said what he wanted, he'd even hand her over to the kid. He's sure he must be really into her, so just say it. Yena, still on the ground, laughs at that whole thing about them being boyfriend and girlfriend. She wasn't with someone who throws parties and buys drinks for other girls and still makes bets on social media. He turns, angry, saying he already apologized for that damn mess. It was his friends who invited and set up that situation. He wasn't to blame for any of it. Yena says whatever. He wasn't worthy of being her boyfriend anymore. so it's over. Man, but then he hit her with Ronaldinho's kick right in the stomach. Even Ji-gun felt the pressure from the impact, dude. The poor girl is trembling all over, all twisted. Yena says that it really is the end for the two of them, that she must have been crazy in the head to ever date him. But he just grabs her by the collar and asks who gave her permission to break up with him. Okay, that's how it is? Fine then. But she just says she doesn't care. He wants to hit her again? He can go ahead. He says fine, then they'd settle this now. But when he goes to punch her, man, his arm gets blocked. Ji-gun had thrown his shoulder over it. Tu wants to know what he thinks he's doing. Looks like Ji-gun really was interested in her. He goes into punch, saying he already warned him not to cross the line. And man, the punch lands square on his cheek. I thought he'd dodge. I thought he'd pull something epic. But Tu says he doesn't stand a chance. In our boy's mind, he remembers a blonde girl telling him to come to his senses. He snaps out of it, plants his feet, and manages to stay standing. Tu, though, goes in for another, wanting to know how the hell the bastard tanked that. Since that's how it is, I won't hold back anymore. And man hits him square in the solar plexus, the kind of shot that knocks anyone out. And I think it hurt. Or maybe not, because Ji-gun is just staring back, cold. Taksu goes in to throw another one, telling the bastard to die. But this time, Ji-gun dodges and lands a clean one on the jaw. And not just anywhere, man. That one spun him like 3 times, and he went face first into the asphalt. The friends are off to the side, calling out to Tu, while Yena looks shocked, asking what Ji-gun is doing. Well, defending himself, right, girl? The fool's getting up, already spitting out a tooth, and then takes a snap kick to the chin. The friends try to step in, saying he must be asking to get beaten up. But man, if the main side character with a name has no chance, these poor guys are just taking dodges and servings of jaw. One of them grabs a metal rod to hit him in the head, but takes a spin kick right in the chest. One more to the ground. Bullhead is just standing there, dude. Hasn't done anything up to now. Meanwhile, Taksu just wants to know what the hell Ji-gun even is. He's just there, dude, standing in the rain, staring like a demon, and takes another straight to the face. The fool groans, but gets another one. Man, punches are flying until Yena comes to stop him, saying if he keeps going, the guy's going to die. He hesitates for a second there, lightning strikes, and he gets up, all in berserk mode, dude, with a full-on psycho face. Yena calls out to him again, but man, he just throws on his backpack and walks off. Bullhead and the girl are left asking themselves what he even is. The story says some people could feel it. Behind Ji-gun's silence was a deep darkness. Then we see a bit earlier, back when Bullhead called our boy. Ari had heard all of it and saw him being taken to the alley. She thought it was suspicious, man, and decided to follow, the curious little sneak. She peeked around, and when she got there, all she could hear was our boy serving chin shots to everyone. From a distance, she could hear the bones cracking, dude, until something got close. Someone put a hand on the wall. It was our guy, all bloody. He glanced to the side and saw her hiding there. She gave a little look from under the umbrella, trembling. She offers her little umbrella to him, but he gives her that classic stare, turns around, and walks off. Man, left her in the rain like a chump. Next day, a full-on sunny day. The kids in class are wondering where the pretty boy and Taksu are. Why did both of them skip? The girls were already complaining, saying the place feels too empty without Ji-gun there. Meanwhile, Yena, yeah, she knows it was her fault things ended up this way. Then the scene shifts to under a bridge. A guy says he doesn't even know what to think. Ever since he left, he's been drinking and partying like crazy, but now they're saying he ended up in the hospital. How does that make any sense? He tells the kid to just say it. What's his condition? Bullhead says his face is full of fractures, and it looks like he's going to be in a hospital for a while. He even asks for no one to visit him because it's too embarrassing. The guy asks how many got beaten, and he says 4 people. That guy with the piercings, that's Kang Doyle. He says he's sure there's no way Tu would lose physically, so who the hell is this person? Bullhead explains that it's a mysterious kid named Ji-gun, a student who transferred in but doesn't talk much. He doesn't know much about him either. The angry guy asks if he's seriously saying they got beat up by some stranger. That's embarrassing. Right away, the big fat dude grabs him by the neck and asks why his face is intact if everyone else got beaten. The poor guy, trembling, says it's because he thought 5 against 1 would be too unfair. He thought the 4 of them would win. The guy slams him into the wall and says he's making stuff up. Then Kang wants to know what school this kid came from. Bullhead says nobody knows. To this day, he's never even heard the guy's voice. He's like a mute. He takes another slap on the head, being called useless. The big guy then orders him to describe what he looks like. You better give details that make him easy to identify visually. Here we go, you already know, right? The guy's blushing, says he doesn't want to admit it, but, well, he's like a handsome guy, like a model. He was handsome enough that all the girls kept talking about him. On top of that, he gave off the vibe of coming from a rich family, not to mention he had charisma and beautiful eyes. The guy slaps his back, asking what the deal is between the two of them and if he fell in love. Meanwhile, Kang is interested. A guy who just arrived is extremely silent and beat up too. Charismatic, good-looking, and also a good fighter. That's a rare combo. Yep, already trembling, saying, what even is that guy? Man, in this story, everyone's peculiar. Next day, there's our boy, once again silently arriving at school. He heads to his locker, and Bullhead is keeping an eye on him, remembering that Kang ordered him to find out everything he could about this kid. The guy's being stared at, and obviously he's thinking, man, this is too much. But now he's questioning why he'd accepted something like this. Right when Ji-gun opens his locker, he sees a phone inside. A memory pops up, man. He looks at it, picks it up, and sees there's a message saying, "Congratulations." Someone is saying he'd received a free phone. It was old, but at least he could install WhatsApp, Facebook, and chat. The person says they'd listen to any problem he wanted to share and asks him to send a message soon. He looks around, and Bullhead hides, wondering if he's been discovered. But Ji-gun looks the other way, and guess who's standing there with a little phone in hand? Right, just by the hair, you know. Yeah, she's clearly in love. He looks at the screen while she's standing there, red as a tomato, waiting for the boy to message her. Bullhead is wondering what he's going to do, and then Ji-gun just puts the phone on top of the locker and walks away. Man, the guy rushes over, grabs it to check, and sees it's an old model. Clearly it wasn't his. He's kind of confused, wondering why Ji-gun discarded it and why it wasn't locked. But suddenly someone shoulder checks him, man, and he hits his face on the locker. The girl grabs the phone and vanishes. The poor guy is all twisted, trying to figure out who that crazy girl was. Meanwhile, one of Yenna's friends is saying that her aunt has a poodle that had a baby, and it's too cute and she wants to adopt it. But clearly, Yenna isn't listening to a thing. The friend tells her to stop zoning out and focus. Embarrassed, she says she is focused, but the other one already calls her out, saying she's lying, that she's thinking about Ji-gun, who's absent again. Blushing, she says no, she doesn't think about him like that all the time. But right then, her friend's face suddenly turns red too, calling out the name, Ji-gun. There he is, the badass, standing right in front of them, man. One look from him, and Yenna is already frozen there, not knowing what to say. She hands everything to her friend, tells her to wait there, and runs toward him. Out of nowhere, she jumps in and gives him a hug, dude. Everyone around is kind of confused while Yenna is already crying, saying she was really worried about him and asking if he's okay. He had saved her, and that was something she would never forget. She would be grateful to him forever. Bullhead is off to the side, watching, and seeing that it's confirmed. The girls are in love with him. He decides then to make another note. The information he's gathered. He arrives late to school. Most of the girls like him, and he still doesn't speak. That's it. With that, another school day ends, and there's our stoic guy walking home. On the way, though, there's a guy on a motorcycle smoking a cigarette, just staring. Right away, he's sure from the looks it could only be the kind of bastard who likes to show off. He whistles, calls out to the one with glasses, who gets on the bike, man, and the two head toward our boy. One on each side, they corner him and ask if he's that guy, Ji-gun. Our boy gives that signature stare, right? As if he were going to answer. And then the one with glasses says exactly that. Since he's not answering, it must be Ji-gun. The boss wants to have a little chat, so it'd be best if he got on the bike. The other one asks if he's ever heard of Kang Doyle from Hong School. A legend, ranked in the top 3 as soon as he entered the second year. There's not a single bastard in this city who doesn't know his name. And the school they come from, man, isn't a place for losers like the one they're studying in now. And it's that same Kang who wants to meet him, so it'd be good for him to hop on. But the boy does nothing. The guy tells him to stop being scared. He wasn't being called to get beaten up. It was just a ride. This was still a friendly invitation. The one in the glasses asks if he's deaf too and tells him again to hop on the back. These guys are sounding like they want to get a little too close to Ji-gun. Our boy starts to turn away, and the guy grabs his backpack, asking if he's really going to insist. Looks like they'll have to break both his legs so he'll move. But Ji-gun gives him that little stare, and the guy lets go of the backpack and walks off like he doesn't care about anything. The dude drops the backpack, saying that bastard is a freak, and both rev up the motorcycle heading toward him. But he had already gone into the alley, and the first guy tries to make a maneuver and slams his shoulder into the wall. The other one manages to handle the move better, dude, but Ji-gun was already climbing the stairs, and the bastard comes charging. Man, is he really going up the stairway on the bike? Ji-gun, though, gives a little nudge to a trash bag dude, and then a kick straight to the guy's chin, sending the idiot flying with the bike. He crashes into his friend. Both of them roll down the stairs, a motorcycle on the ground, almost dead, completely wrecked. Right away, the dude, dedicated as always, tells the other to get up and go after that bastard. He starts running up the stairs. Man, the kid is like a ghost. You see him in the corner, but when you get there, he's gone. Then you look to the side, he's going down the stairs, but when you grab the shoulder, it's just some other ugly weirdo. Poor guy even got the other one mad and took a free beating, dude. Nearby was also Ji-gun. Batman, man, hands in his pocket, staring down at the two from above. He turns and heads home. Back at the bridge, the two idiots soften their tone, apologizing. Kang asks if the bastard refused the invitation, and the guys say that unfortunately, yeah. He was kind of sneaky, but they almost caught him. The big buff guy stomps, wanting to know how it's possible that two people couldn't bring in a single kid. The guy, all twisted, says it's because they got caught in a maze on a stairway and ended up getting lost. Meanwhile, Kang's just saying that the more he tries to catch this kid, the more interesting he gets. He asks Bullhead if he found anything. There he comes with his notes, all awkward, saying he observed all day but isn't sure if it'll be useful. Kang takes a look. Late to school. Girls like him. He doesn't speak. Then he gives him a stare, asking if that's really all the work he managed to do. The buff guy asks if the bastard wants to get beaten, and there he is, doing push-ups too. Kang then says to let them go, but tells Bullhead he's giving him one last chance to bring that kid to the back exit of the school. He better at least manage that much. And Daik wanted to make sure he'd obey. Tomorrow, that kid wouldn't have a choice. He was going to meet him. The guy just responds that he guarantees it's taken care of. Meanwhile, Poor Bullhead, man. Doesn't understand why he's getting involved in all this if he doesn't even know who Jigun really is. The next day, Bullhead is holding 2 grape juices, and the friends think he bought them for himself. But he just turns to the fool and says he'd never buy anything for an idiot like him. It's for someone else. A friend asks who it's for, and right then, Bullhead sees him from behind and already latches on to our boy, saying good morning to Jigun and saying, "As always, you look amazing. Here's a little drink to help you relax." Our boy gives him a stare, and Bullhead says he's probably getting the wrong idea. He's not friends with those Kang guys or any of those gangs. That's why he's even there, to say thanks for him having taken care of those guys. Seeing those fools getting beaten up made him feel good, and that's why he's offering this drink. But Jigun, as always, ignores him and walks off. Bullhead knew it wasn't going to be as easy as he expected, but somehow he had to bring this kid to the back of the school. If not, he'd be the one getting beat by Daik. The school day starts, and there's our boy at his usual desk, calm while everyone's messing around. He is up a while later when the place is empty, while Bullhead is just there, watching. Looks like during the break, he's going to grab his snack and, as always, heads to his territory on the upper floor. Man once there, the mini-stalker had left her phone again and sent a little message asking if he was going to eat alone. The bastard hadn't done anything, and the girl's already trembling, red. He looks at the phone, and she's there, sending 200 messages, wanting to know if he always eats alone up there. She says she also sometimes likes eating alone and saw him there, and because of that, she wanted to talk. He looks to one side, and then a message comes in saying she's on the other. He looks to the other, and there's a little hand waving. Oh, that troublemaker. Being good-looking sure makes life easier, huh, man? He literally hasn't done anything, and the girl's doing everything she can to chase him. God really has favorites, huh? Some are born good-looking, and others are born upside down. Then she hides her hand and apologizes, saying she doesn't feel comfortable meeting lots of people. She heard he doesn't talk much either, and she's kind of the same. What she's curious about is why he doesn't speak. The thumb seems to be typing something, but then suddenly someone calls out to Jigun. It's that bastard Bullhead, saying it's such a coincidence how often they've been bumping into each other lately. He came there to eat some bread alone, but since he ran into a friend, they could eat together. Our boy's just there, calm, sipping his little soda in total silence. Meanwhile, the Arium stalker girl is just staring, hoping for a message from the boy. Then our boy looks to the side and sees Bullhead trembling and crying. He blurts out through tears that, unfortunately, he has no friends. That's the only reason he tries to hang out with Taksu and the other guys. He didn't want to be someone isolated, you know? He's scared of being alone. Maybe the two of them, who are both loners, should stick together. But man, Jigun is just there, static, doesn't even look at the guy. Bullhead is nearly dying of frustration, wondering why nothing works on this damn kid. He even managed to force out some tears, you know, from deep down, and there was no reaction. Then Jigun gets up and starts walking away. Poor guy. But the bastard grabs his arm and begs him to wait, desperately asking if they can be friends. But Jigun just keeps walking, dragging the guy along. Dude walked off, slammed the door, and left him abandoned. Messages are coming to his phone from Daik, asking why they still haven't shown up and where the kid is. Bullhead is biting his nails, man. If he doesn't bring that kid, he's the one who's going to get beaten. So he runs out of the classroom, desperate, saying he still has a chance. He looks around the classroom, doesn't see the kid, until he spots the lunatic sitting on top of one of the desks. Bullhead's already all red, wondering if the bastard is filming a commercial. Then he gets startled. Maybe it's another message from Daik, asking where he is. The kid gathers his courage and once again calls out to Jigun. He says he's happy he's here. He sent a message to his mom, who was really proud that he finally made a friend. She even asked to meet him downstairs because she wants to see who her son's new friend is. And he wanted, that he please respect that request. It's nothing serious. Jigun remains silent while Bullhead is sure that any human would accept a request like that. He's not going to turn that down. He sees our boy thinking and believes he's contemplating whether to go or not. But to be honest, it doesn't really look like he wants to. Then Bullhead just pushes it, saying they're friends and it'll be quick, so no problem. But Arium is just watching from the side. And yeah, the stalker is dangerously alert. So he starts leading our boy down the path, saying this is the fastest way to get there. While mentally, he's apologizing, saying that in this neighborhood, man, if you're too innocent, you won't survive. He takes out his phone, messages someone, and once again apologizes. And there's Daik, smiling as he receives the message. He walks toward the two and passes by, bumping his shoulder into our boy, man. The kid went all limp, and the guy already grabbed him by the backpack, telling him to be more careful and saying that walking like that, he's going to end up getting knocked over. What the hell, dude? Before our boy could do anything, the guy already yanked him by the backpack and slammed him into the wall. The guy steps in close and says, "It's a pleasure to meet you." He grabs him by the neck and says, "You really do have a pretty face." Here comes another one. But on the other hand, it seems like those skills people talked about were kind of exaggerated. Until Jigun puts his foot on his chest and pushes him back. Our boy lands on his feet, but the little phone he got bounces on the ground and was heading for the storm drain. He gets distracted seeing that, and at the same moment, Daik comes in to throw a punch, man. He's forced to pull his arms up to defend, but even so, the impact hits hard. At least with that block, he managed to throw his foot back and knock the phone away from the drain. The guy clenches his fists and says it's time to finish him. He stares him down and asks if he really thinks he can win with their size difference. And our boy's just there, as always. Guess what? Silent. while Bullhead is off in the distance, apologizing, saying that if he gets beat quickly, Dake will stop right away. The bastard comes running to shoulder charge him, but our boy just grabs his backpack and uses it as a shield. He still gets slammed into the wall, but it looked manageable. Dake then says that he's actually a little smarter than he looks. Our boy empties the backpack. The guy charges in again, and he pulls a flip to the side, tosses the strap around his foot, yanks from behind, and drops Dake flat on his back. The guy goes to yell, calling him a bastard, but then comes a punch landing right beside his skull. The guy freezes right there, man. And then Dake sees the guy standing over him with a big old foot on the back of his neck and wonders if he's trying to act all high and mighty. Man, he tries to get up, but our boy throws in a spinning blow, whacking him on top of the head. And I don't know if it was once or if it was twice, but from afar, Bullhead is there, terrified, wondering how the hell he's beating up Dake. The poor guy already had his face more smashed than in a selfie, smoke coming out, not understanding what just happened. Then our boy just gets up, glances back, and picks up the phone. But the bastard is coming like a monkey on two legs, saying, "This ain't over yet." Our boy turns around to try to defend himself, but ends up dropping the phone. Right then, he grabs it and says that from the looks of it, this thing seems important to him. All he came here to do was bring him to Kang Doyle. It's a shame he won't be able to deliver the kid beaten up. Then he calls someone. The bike guys show up and he hops on, saying that if he wants this phone, he'll have to go to Sisha Park. His welcome party was already prepared. The bike revs up and takes off. And right then, Bullhead comes up, trying to make small talk, asking if he's hurt and what happened. He really was close to getting beaten up, but what's he going to do now if those guys have his phone? If he doesn't go now to get it back, all the information could be leaked. He could forget about meeting his mom and go straight to the park. Our boy, as always, is just there in silence. Bullhead thinks, man, he did more than 120% of his job. He doesn't know if the bastard will go or not, but there's nothing more he can do. Then Jagoon gets up and starts walking. Since his house is in the other direction, Bullhead figures he's actually going. The scene shifts to our boy climbing a staircase, man. He walks past the burnouts there, all smoking and cutting their lifespan short. When he gets to the top, yep, a proper reception is waiting. Just a bunch of K-pop dancer lookalikes with colored hair and piercings all over their faces. Our boy, though, is just standing there, still staring at everyone. In the back is the bastard, Kang Doyle, saying that finally, something good showed up. He already shows the phone and asks if he came for that. Jigun says nothing, as always, and walks toward him. Kang says that it didn't seem like there was anything important on the phone. Not a single saved contact and no call history. The only thing the damn thing had were some texts from a girl who seems to have her eyes on him. But considering he came all the way there to get the phone back, it must mean something to him. Jigun stretches out his hand, and Kang asks what it is. Was she his girlfriend, or were they just messing around? Now he's super curious. He even sent her a message himself, since he got kind of frustrated seeing the sweet talk between them. You don't need to worry. What I told her will help things get moving. Considering that Stalker's already in love, man, I couldn't imagine what he could offer that she wouldn't accept. But with Arium, the only problem is that the message the bastard sent didn't sound like our boy. He sent a, hey, saying he was super lonely and asking if she wanted to meet him. If you go to the city park, you'll officially become my girlfriend starting today. Back with Kang, he says that if she shows up after seeing that message, then for sure, she likes him. And after he scores that goal, he'll owe him one. Jigun, though, is still there, big old hand stretched out, not saying a word. Then Kang says he gets what this is, but his guys had worked hard to get the boy to show up. Not to mention, he beat up two. Even if he didn't like that bastard, they were friends once. So he tells our boy that if he came all the way there, he must understand that there's a price to be paid. Jigun, guess what? Still says nothing. And the guy says he's really a weirdo.
Since he won the phone, the deal would be simple. If he can survive a fight against everyone, he gets it back. Seems like he doesn't understand how things work around here since he was transferred recently. The area had a very competitive ranking system, and the moment he hit Taksu Man, he entered the ranking. And now it's time for him to show how skilled he really was. That very second, Dake is already in his face, saying it's time for revenge. He goes in to throw a punch, but man, our boy just sidesteps, gives him a stare, and Dake says he really is a bastard. Then the guy yells out for everyone to go at him, dude. Our boy dodges the first one, steps to the side, clenches his fist, and goes to sock the guy in the face, but being all noble and heroic, he stops just before smashing another skull. Two others come from behind. He glances at them, closes his arm, walks, but gets slammed to the ground. He falls between another guy's feet, who, man, actually lands one right in the face. At that same moment, another Cristiano Ronaldo is coming in for a header. From afar, Kang is just watching him get beaten and wondering why the bastard is only dodging and blocking. Apparently, he's not very interested in this ranking business. The guy next to him, though, says this weirdo isn't even screaming, even while getting beat up. Seems like he's willing to risk his life just to stay silent. Strangely, Kang says he's curious what kind of voice would come out of a face like that. I'm telling you, this place is weird, man. And then he yells to the guys, saying that whoever makes him scream will win a limited edition Jordan. The guys look excited, and instantly, everyone rushes to beat him up. Jigun is just tanking everything while Kang's yelling, telling him to hurry up and show what kind of skills he has. He was supposed to prove he was a rare item. Dake comes charging, telling everyone to move aside and asking where that fighting spirit of his went.
Man, he lands a kick right to the chin that really drops the kid to the ground like a piece of trash. He's down there, all twisted up, until one of them picks up a rock and says he's going to smash his head unless he screams. But out of nowhere, Kang Doyle gives him a smack on the head and asks if he wants to die for trying a cheap move like that. The guy apologizes, and Kang leans over to our boy, wanting to know if he actually likes getting beat, or if he's hiding something, but he warns him this isn't going to end until he proves himself. Bullhead is behind a tree, dude. He followed our boy to see what would happen, and now he's feeling bad. Just like he expected, even if Jigun's strong, there's no way to beat an entire gang alone. But then he sees Ari approaching. Dang, dude, she actually went there. I told you this bastard is something else. He sent one message saying, "Come here and you'll be my girlfriend," and the girl showed up. Then Kang's phone vibrates, and right away, he sees a message from her asking him to let the boy go. When he looks to the back, yep, there she is, standing with a little phone in her hand. Kang says maybe now he'll finally be motivated to fight. His little love interest showed up. He sends one of the guys after her, and the first one instantly steps out of the way. She's just there, typing, sending a message. When suddenly, he grabs her arm from behind, already saying it's weird that someone so pretty would come all the way there. He pulls her arm, throws it forward, and says she's not leaving today. Bullhead, remembering she's from his class and that he's her #1 fan, is already furious at what the bastard is doing. But when he thinks about acting, dude, he sees the two of them talking and just keeps hiding, trembling in fear. Then the guy goes back to Kang and says he brought her. Jigun gives a look. Man, sees the poor girl. They're all trembling. The boy too. He hasn't done a thing so far. Literally, this is the first time we can say the protagonist hasn't spoken a word, and these girls are just bringing chaos into his life. And I don't know if it's her or him remembering when she gave him the umbrella, looked back, waved her little hand. And now she's all messed up there. Is Jigun finally going to start taking this seriously, dude? The guys are all looking back, saying that, yeah, the damn girl actually showed up. Then Dake steps on Jigun's shoulder and asks if she came all the way there to become the kid's lover. Too bad, because now he was feeling guilty. That's because the boy was kind of frustrating and was having to be polite. Ariam starts typing a message, saying he's just a friend and asking them to let him go. And then Kang, confused, asks why the hell isn't she saying anything either. He tells her to go ahead and say her name, but she just trembles. Right then, Kang says it's ironic. Seems like the two of them are just alike. The guys around her are laughing, saying there are two weirdos there who don't open their mouths. Truly the WhatsApp couple, dude. Once again, Kang says he doesn't know how, but he'll give a reward to whoever makes either of them speak. Dake asks if it's okay for him to mess with the girl, and Kang says, yeah. Then the guys already start circling around, saying that if she doesn't talk, she doesn't say no either. Why would they keep annoying Jigun when they could have way more fun with her? There's already one creep grabbing her hair, saying it smells nice, while the guy's asking what shampoo she uses. Jigun's expression is changing, dude, and Kang is just watching, wondering what he's going to do. Will he keep holding back like that? Meanwhile, another dude's grabbing her chin, and from a distance, Bullhead is angry that she got caught up in all of this. Strangely, the weirdo holding her face asks what they're going to do with that mouth. One of them tells her to scream, and that's when Jigun sidesteps and takes a hit right on the chin. The guy next to him looks over, sees the fool falling, and in the same second gets hit too. The pink-haired K-pop guy, man, opened his mouth and got smacked as well. Right then, Kang celebrates, saying that finally, Jigun started fighting. Ariam, on the other hand, is just there, frozen, not understanding what's going on. The rest of the group charges in, and our boy dodges the first punch, grabs one by the leg, goes to toss him, but the other grabs him from the side. He grabs him by the hair, slams him to the ground, punches him in the face. Another comes in to kick, and he grabs the leg, man. And right that second, Dake is coming while another guy is begging him to let go of the leg. Dude, our boy gets a kick in one guy's face, jumps toward Dake, dodges the punch, steps on his thigh, and takes a knee to the chin. But even before falling, bam! A spinning kick right under the jaw. Kang is celebrating in the back, saying he really was a rare one. But man, that damn Dake tanked it and still grabbed him by the chest, said he was going to crush the loser. But Jigun just gave him a double elbow to the center of the skull, dude, a whole combo. That's when, finally, that bastard got slammed to the ground. I thought the guys would be scared, but nope. They charged again, and Jigun had to keep dodging, man. A punch to one, a kick to another, while Kang's there trying to understand where this kid even came from. He was really way beyond what Kang had expected. Then the blue-haired bullhead guy in the back is yelling for the bastard to get on his knees or the little girlfriend gets hurt. But man, when Jigun looks over, it's like he sees something from the past. Apparently, even when he was little, this bastard already had girls chasing him and trouble following. The girl cried, calling his name, and that stirred something in the boy, dude. I thought he was going to just deck the guy, but one steps forward and the other one's shaking. Then one tries to say something, and there's a guy coming from behind to hit him, but that guy just takes an elbow without even being looked at. Right then, Jigun charges. The guy says not to come any closer, but gets decked right in the face anyway, already down on the ground. And now it's just like the Taxu scene, man. Jigun snapped and started unloading punch after punch into the guy's face. Then Kang in the back says that's enough, tells him to stop. He shows the phone and tells him to come grab it already because he deserved it. The only price was that he'd have to join the group. That's because he just couldn't resist the things he wanted. Man, what a little villain this guy is, right? Still waiting for the first straight-up villain in this story. Our boy gets up, goes in with clenched fists, and Kang stretches his arms to the sides, saying it's over. Man, what do you think you're doing? I've already had enough fun, so there was no reason to stare at me like that. But man, Jigun just raises his fist. Kang glances over, and he's the one who gets into a fighting stance, dude. He leaves only the after image behind, steps to the side, and lands one square on Jigun's chin. Damn. I thought he was going to get clobbered by those goofy guys. Our boy hits the ground, and I don't know if he's awake or knocked out, but he's pretty beat up. Then Kang approaches and says he already told him to cut it out. He throws the phone on his chest and tells him to take it and stop being a pain. He calls for his boys, all beaten to hell, and tells them to leave. Man, the crew heads down the stairs. Everyone's wondering who that bastard even was. Dake's still fixing his jaw, asking if Kang really wants to recruit that weirdo who doesn't even speak. Kang, though, isn't really hearing any of it because his lip is bleeding. He was sure he dodged perfectly, but even with the kid all beat up, he reacted fast enough to cut his lip. He really did have a knack for hitting weak spots. And obviously now he wants the boy for himself. Get out of here, creep. Meanwhile, back at the park, our boy sits on the bench. Now what? The mute couple is just there, staring at each other. He's sitting, she's looking at him, and he's not saying a word. Until she suddenly takes off running. Amazing. Once she's a little farther away, she says for him to wait, that she's going to get some medicine. While Jagoon's just remembering the moment the guy said to get on his knees or else he'd hurt her. He looks up, deep in thought, puts the phone on the bench and walks off. Man, what the hell? This guy's cold as hell. Bullhead is just watching, thinking that if it had been one-on-one from the start, he definitely would have won. Looked like someone really dangerous had entered the school. At that moment, he walks toward the bench and sees the phone. Right away, he remembers it's the same one he found earlier. And now he knows it was Ariam who gave it to him. He starts wondering what's going on between the two of them when she appears in the background, all desperate, carrying the medicine. He's unsure what to do with the phone, but decides he doesn't care, just grabs it and takes off running. Ari gets there and obviously sees the bench is empty. Looks like the girl needs glasses, huh? Got within 10 steps to realize no one was sitting there. Meanwhile, Bullhead has already vanished, dude. The phone rings. It's Ariam, saying she bought the medicine but he left. Is your injury okay? Bullhead's annoyed that bastard Jigoon is leaving Ariam all worried, and now he doesn't know what to do. Maybe he should just send a little message to calm her down. At that moment, Ariam sends her name, saying she's from class 4. Poor Bullhead. He knows that better than anyone. Then she thanks him for saving her and asks if they can start talking little by little. Of course, right, dude? Bullhead's got an opportunity like this in his hands, and now he doesn't know what to do. Maybe he should ignore it, but he'd feel bad. Or, obviously, he could just pretend to be Jigoon for a little bit. And there's Ariam, obviously, seeing the message come in, and he just sends in K. At least that sounds like something Jigoon would send, except for the fact that he apparently would never send anything at all. The next day, a bright, sunny day, and in the middle of the alley, the friend's watching the fight. Man, looks like Bullhead recorded the whole thing and is showing it to him. The friend asks if that's not that mute student he said was an idiot. Bullhead says yeah, but that kid was way stronger than he expected. The friend immediately comments that the guy fights way too well. If he knew how to do that, he'd be super popular. But Bullhead is already thinking that the bastard was too popular. Even that damn Ariam liked him. Now he's the one who likes Ariam and is mad that even though she likes him, she's being ignored. At the same time, of course, he feels relieved, but he's in a whole emotional mess. How could his goddess get rejected like that? The black-haired guy says they got to put that fight on TikTok. That thing's going to go viral. Bullhead says, of course not. But the guy is already running off. He tries to chase after him but ends up bumping into someone and falls all twisted on the ground. He's about to apologize, but here comes the next K-pop guy who's going to beat him up. Rank 2 of Baekdong High School, Kim Jinwoo. Almost Sung Jinwoo just swapped Sung for Kim. And it seems like the guy is well known because Bullhead's already trembling, saying he's going to put his badge back on. It was all crooked. He tries to pin it back to his tie and gets slapped in the face for it. Apparently, the guy just gave a light tap and kept walking. Meanwhile, the guy with the soup bowl haircut tells him to watch where he's going. The fool apologizes, dude. The friend asks if he's okay, says it didn't hurt that much. The buddy comes closer and says he got lucky, man. Kim Jinwoo was known for being a maniac who loves fighting, so the fact he let him off easy was a blessing. That's when they hear someone calling for Jigoon, and when they look back, there's Yena, clinging to him, wanting to know what happened and why his face is all bruised. Seeing that, Bullhead just feels rage. That bastard was too popular. First Ari, now Yena. He doesn't understand why this damn guy is God's chosen one. Then his goddess, speaking of her, walks by. He gives a little, hey, just to be completely ignored. At that moment, he figures that to get close to her, he'll have to get close to Jigoon first. Meanwhile, the friend's there with his phone, already posting the transfer student's fight to TikTok. Not long after, in class, the little bald guy is getting his head doodled on again. The dude drew an emoji on his scalp, and it actually looked kind of cute. He says that at least from that side, he looks better now. Everyone's cracking up while he's sitting there, realizing his life's a mess. The guys even say that from now on, he's going to have to walk backward to have better luck with girls. And man, the poor guy had no choice. He's there in the hallway, walking backward, until he hits the stairs and nearly falls like a complete idiot. But it's fine because Jigoon shows up and saves him, dude. The guy glances at him and apologizes. Now that I stop to think about it, why hasn't that bastard cut those 2 little tufts of hair yet? Must have liked them. Yena asks if he's okay, and he says yes. Even she bursts out laughing when she sees what's on his head. He tells her not to laugh. It's just an inside joke. She covers her mouth saying, okay then, while Jigoon just walks off. Dude, the guy gets emotional, realizing that our boy never laughs at his face. The next day we're in the gym, and man, people are always getting beat up in this place. Looks like a clean fight's going on. Everyone's cheering, and the one organizing it is the Walmart Jinwoo dude. But the guy comments that this is getting boring. Seems like they have no skill at all. Then one of the guys hands him a phone and tells him to take a look. It's an insane fight. It's a video of the transfer student, and it looks like he wrecked a bunch of people. Of course, the post is already filling up with comments, and Kim Jinwoo wants to know if that kid is really from their school. Turns out he was pretty skilled. The guys next to him don't even believe it, saying it looks staged, like no way he's beating that many people. But when Jinwoo sees that the uniform is the same, he gets excited. That was a chance to gain a ton of views. Right away, he calls the group over and asks who knows the new transfer student. The weird other guy says he's a kid who sits in the classroom next door, but apparently he doesn't talk at all. Jinwoo asks which class, and the guy says class 5, but warns him to be careful because there's a rumor that 2 was hospitalized because of him. Obviously, Jinwoo already gets excited hearing that the kid even beat up 2. He turns to his friend and says they've got to get more info on that bastard. Poor thing, here comes another one trying to get information. During the break, the guys are calling Gummin to go eat something. At that moment, our boy steps out of the classroom, and Gummin goes over to talk to him. He says he bought a little bun and wanted to eat together. I think the two of them are heading to the upper floor, while Gummin says they should do this more often. When they get there, though, boom, there's Bullhead, saying he was waiting. Where the hell do these bastards even come from? Who knows? But now, out of nowhere, he's got a squad. Bullhead wants to know why Gummin is walking around with Jagoon, and Gummin asks the same thing about him. The two are about to start arguing until Gummin turns to tell Jagoon to sit down. But with that, Bullhead sees the little face drawn on his head, and, of course, bursts out laughing, already asking why he's trying to make everyone laugh. Poor Gummin says he's not trying to make anyone laugh. His body was living, undeniable proof that bullying in schools was still real. They shouldn't avoid the truth. While they're having this little back and forth, Jigen's just there, calmly eating. Gummin asks to take a photo for evidence, and just when Bullhead is about to snap it, his phone rings. Man, a little message from Ari. Right away, he takes off running, saying they can eat there. He's heading out. She had just sent, "Have a nice break," while he's there, all flustered, replying, "Thank you." My God, man, it wasn't even meant for you. Still, he replied, "You too," which left the girl all red, man. But the happiness doesn't last long. Right then, the door opens, and in comes another enemy. Bullhead recognizes him as Jamin and wants to know what he's doing there. But the guy just looks straight at Jigen and comments that people have been saying he hangs out alone during breaks, and looks like it's true. He walks toward him, shows him a video, and asks if that's not him. Bullhead sees that the damn friend's TikTok post has now gone viral. Gummin's shocked, not understanding what's going on, and Jamin already says he wants to see if the kid's skills match the rumors. He asks why he's just standing there doing nothing, then swings a punch,